Stand by to fall in, Polk County. This is today's veteran. Hello and welcome, and on behalf of everyone at the Polk County Office of Veteran Services, thank you for joining us. And I'm your host, BRYAN, LACEY, and on this installment of today's veteran, we'll talk about March being National Nutrition Month and some of the steps veterans can take to eating healthier, not only during the month, but all year round. Joining us in studio today is Chelsey Armendinger, Monique Lisowski, and Hillary Markey. All three are registered dietitians with the James A. Haley Veterans Hospitals and Clinics. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I think I want to start off with, if we could, tell us a little bit about what a registered dietitian does.
Sure. So a registered dietitian is the food and nutrition expert with multiple levels of training and a unique skill set to help veterans and other patients prevent or manage chronic disease, and also adapt a healthy lifestyle and manage their weight. We work in a variety of settings as well. You'll find us in healthcare settings, both in the hospital and in outpatient clinics, in food service, in business, education, in the community, and also in research. And the VA is very unique because we have a registered dietitian that is a part of every medical team. So if you're going to your doctor out in the community, you most likely won't always have a dietitian there on site. And so we're very fortunate to work with the VA and to be able to offer our veterans nutrition counseling at all of our locations.
And when we talk locations, what are we talking?
So we have our main campus in Tampa, and we have our primary care annex, which is also in Tampa and has several different outpatient teams. And then we have Lakeland, which is where Monique works. And we also have Zephyr Hills, Brooksville, and Newport Richey. So we have clinics in all the areas throughout Tampa Bay to help serve our veterans.
From a veteran standpoint, you know, we've always tried to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but whether our body's giving out on us or, you know, sometimes we just don't care anymore. You know, what are some of the reasons that a veteran would want or need to see a dietitian?
Yeah, so we know there's a number of medical conditions that can be impacted by our food choices and nutrition and lifestyle, such as diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease. We also work with veterans that might have digestive disorders, so they may have a difficult time digesting certain foods, or they may have food allergies. We also work with veterans who are trying to lose weight, also veterans that may need to gain weight. So there are a number of conditions that may cause somebody to lose weight unintentionally, such as with cancer. They may have difficulty chewing food or swallowing food, so we can work with them to help them modify the consistency or the texture of their diets if they're having difficulty chewing and swallowing foods. So essentially what we do is we look at their whole health. We take all of their medical conditions into account, and of course we look at their lifestyle and their food preferences, and we try to come up with an eating plan that is realistic for them based on everything that's going on with their health. For example, if a veteran were to see their primary care provider, they may find out that they have high cholesterol. So what we can do is we can sit down with them and provide them with information on how all of their food choices and lifestyle choices can impact their cholesterol and help them come up with some realistic changes and give them some tips on how they can make some changes to bring their cholesterol levels down. And as Chelsey mentioned, the great thing about the VA is that we do have dietitians in the primary care clinics working with their medical teams.
Now, one thing that we heard in the open, you know, although we should practice it year-round, you know, March is National Nutrition Month. So what's the focus for this year's team?
Yeah, so every March we celebrate National Nutrition Month, and this is a campaign that's put together by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's really, the goal of the program is to promote nutrition education to the public, to help people make better food choices. And this year the focus is on go further with food. And one of the key messages with this is really bringing attention to food waste and what we all can do to help cut back on food waste in our homes. So it's estimated that nearly 28% of fresh fruits and vegetables in American households are actually thrown away. So that's a lot of food waste. So one of the goals of the campaign is to really get people to think about what they can do to try to cut back on some of those food waste. So one thing I hear pretty frequently is people are sometimes hesitant to buy a lot of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables because they end up throwing them away. And then they're surprised to find out that a lot of those they can actually freeze. So that helps to extend the shelf life, which in turn will also help to cut back on food waste. And some other ways we can try to embrace the theme of going further with food is to make sure that food is being properly stored as well. If food is going in the refrigerator, we can label it and date it. And that just helps us kind of recognize when foods are going to go bad, and we can try to select those foods that have maybe been in the refrigerator a little longer and try to eat through those.
Chelsey, what's James A. Haley Veterans Hospitals and Clinics doing to celebrate National Nutrition Month?
So we have a couple events that we're having to celebrate National Nutrition Month. On Monday, March 19th, we'll be having an event at our main hospital and at our primary care annex, which is on Fletcher and I-75. There's going to be several stations at a health fair that are going to be talking about smart shopping, how to reduce food waste, and also general healthy eating. We're going to have fun giveaways for the veterans, such as reusable grocery bags. We're going to have activities for the veterans to actually learn how to plant and grow herbs. And then we're also going to have different handouts for smart shopping and recipe tastings as well. The other event that we have is Wednesday, March 21st, and that is actually going to be our Food for Thought class. It's at the primary care annex as well, and we are going to be going further with food for that class. Our registered dietitians teach the class, and we'll have 3 different stations that have cooking demonstrations and 3 different recipes for veterans to try. And we're going to focus on going further with food, and that includes going further with each bite, so making sure that we're making smart choices to really get the most nutrients out of the foods we're putting in our bodies. And then also we'll have a recipe that really focuses on eating healthy on a budget, and then also using foods that you could grow or and reducing food waste. So it's going to be a really fun class, and if any of the veterans would like to be scheduled for that, they can contact the outpatient nutrition clinics.
And you had me at cooking demonstrations, because you can never ever go wrong. Walk into Publix and they're cooking and they're like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" That's my favorite part of going shopping.
Yes.
Monique, now talk to me a little bit about the nutrition services that you have to offer for veterans.
So specifically in the Lakeland Clinic, we have a number of nutrition programs available. So if a veteran is interested in learning more about food and nutrition, a great program for them to get started with is called Mission Nutrition, and this is something that we offer once a week in the clinic. And we teach them how to read food labels, we teach them how to plan their meals. We have a focus on weight management, so maintaining a healthy weight, as well as heart-healthy eating. So if any of the veterans may have high cholesterol or high blood pressure, we do touch on those topics as well. And the wonderful thing about Mission Nutrition is that we spend some time during that class talking about some of the other programs that we have available in the clinic. So we offer once a month a diabetes meal planning class. So for the veterans who are trying to learn how to eat to get better control over their blood sugars, We also, of course, have individual appointments, so the class may not be ideal for everyone. We can work one-on-one with the veteran. We look at their whole health situation and help them come up with an individualized eating plan. And probably one of my favorite programs that we have is our 16-week weight management program. So as it sounds, it's a 16-week program. The veterans come in once a week for 16 weeks. And it is a group class. The focus of that program is on improving nutrition, managing weight, and improving their overall quality of life. We have them keep daily logs of what they're eating, their activity levels, and even though it's a class, we still provide them with an individualized plan. So we work with them to come up with goals to help improve their quality of life and help them manage their weight. And one of the great things about our program is that from week 1 through week 16, they're attending with the same group of veterans. So they really get to know one another, and it really gives them a sense of camaraderie.
Now, Chelsey, from a Tampa standpoint, what do you guys have to offer?
So we do offer a lot of the same things. Every one of our clinics has Mission Nutrition. So as Monique was explaining, that's a general healthy, focuses on weight management and heart healthy diet. And we really like veterans to kind of start with Mission Nutrition if they can. Also in all of our clinics, we have the Move weight management program, as Monique was talking about as well, that we can individualize as they go through that group setting. In addition to that, we also have grocery store tours. And this is a really fun class. The veterans love it. A lot of times they'll bring their spouse as well to really learn how to navigate the grocery store, read food labels. The class is set up as kind of a scavenger hunt. So it's a really fun class that we offer once a month. And we also have our Be Active and Move class. That's an exercise class. It's taught by a physical therapist in Tampa, but we actually video it to the clinics as well. So in Lakeland, that is an option for veterans if they want to be in a class that's an exercise type class. We also have a diabetes meal planning class in Tampa that's taught by our certified diabetes educator dietitian. And this really helps veterans learn how to count their carbohydrates and manage their blood sugars. And then a class that we started not too long ago, just a couple of months ago, was our Food for Thought class. And that's the one for March that we'll be celebrating National Nutrition Month. But some of the other classes that we've done is a healthy holiday makeover, different food hacks to help with healthy eating. And then the last one we just had was how to incorporate mobile apps and technology into healthy eating. So it's kind of a very fun class because the topic changes, and the topic is based on what the veteran feedback is. So, you know, if there's different ideas that you all have, please let us know. We would love to do that. And to kind of transition into our next segment, I wanted to also introduce Hillary Markey. She's
a rock star.
Yes.
Because everybody knows she shows up in that shirt and things are happening, right?
Yeah, yes. So we also have a weekly cooking class called the Healthy Teaching Kitchen. And Hillary is a culinary chef and registered dietitian. So she helps our veterans learn how to apply all of this information and actually cook at home. So, you know, that's another program that we just started over the past year, and it's been really successful.
Chelsey, Monique, thank you very much for coming on, being a part of the show. And Hillary, you are going to stick around because I'm going to be
You're going to be my sous chef.
Oh,
You're going to be my sous chef.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm willing to try, all right? All right, guys, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate
Thank you for having us.
Anytime that you guys want to come back, let us know, all right?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Today's Veteran right after this.
Hello, I'm Carlos Gonzalez, Polk County Veteran Services Supervisor, and we are really excited to announce that we are opening a Veteran Services satellite office in Lake Wales. The office is located at 1230 North Scenic Highway in American Legion Post 71. The office is open every Wednesday, and veterans will be seen on a walk-in basis only. Our veteran service officers are here to help veterans and their family members obtain military benefits. We hope to see you at our new location at American Legion Post 71 in Lake Wales.
Welcome back to Today's Veteran. I'm your host, Bryan Lacey. National Nutrition Month, held annually in March, focuses attention on the importance of making informed food choices and developing sound eating and physical activity habits. Joining us in studio is, as we said in the last segment, she's a rock star at the James A. Haley facility. She's a registered dietitian and a chef, hence the cool shirt and cool hat. This is Hillary Markey. Hillary, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And now we're going to do something we've never, ever done on Today's Veteran. We're going to do a demonstration.
Yeah, we're actually going to do 2 demonstrations. So we're going to make a salmon Waldorf salad, and then we're also going to make a 10-minute minestrone soup.
Okay. So before we get into that, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
But what I do, so I work at the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital. I'm one of the outpatient clinic dietitians, so I have my own PAC teams. And then I also do healthy teaching kitchen classes. So a little of my background is I went to culinary school. I worked in restaurants all over the country, and then I decided that I wanted to do a little bit more with nutrition. So I went back to school and became a dietitian as well. And so when I started at the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital, they ended up letting us start a cooking class, which to me is so important because if you know how to cook healthy and you do it once in a class, you're more likely to go home and do it. So it's taking those recommendations and putting them to use at home. So
we're going to do one of those demonstrations today.
We're going to do 2 of them.
All right.
Yeah.
What are we working on?
All right. So the first thing we're going to make is a salmon Waldorf salad. And this is a really simple recipe. It does involve making a homemade dressing, which is something I definitely advocate for in people.
And I understand I get to do that.
You do. You're going to get to do every single step of this except for the prep work, which I went ahead and
I
did
know,
for you.
due to time restraints.
Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the dressing. And the way that I do this in the class is I call it the container shake method. So I'm going to give you that. This is basically if you don't have a blender, this is how you can make dressing at home. So you don't have to have a blender, you don't have to have a food processor or anything fancy. All you need is a container with the key thing, which is a tight-fitting lid. Okay. So why do you think you need a tight-fitting lid?
So I don't get it all over my cool clothes?
Yes, you don't want to ruin your cool clothes. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go right down the list here. So the first thing that we're going to use is going to be plain non-fat Greek yogurt. We use this in place of like a mayonnaise for a creamy dressing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you put this in here. And you're going to need just about all of it. Okay. But you can leave a little scoop in there because we don't need quite the whole container.
Is that good?
That is good. So the thing about Greek yogurt is it's thicker, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good substitute for mayonnaise or sour cream, and it's higher in protein. So the next thing we're going to add in is going to be 1/4 cup of lemon juice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff, right? Next is going to be lemon zest. So are you familiar with what lemon zest is?
I've seen it done before.
You've seen it done before.
I watched the cooking channel.
He's watched the cooking channel.
And that's a slick piece of information to have right there.
Yeah. So these you can get, word on the street is you can get them for $1 at the dollar store, but they're usually under $10 and you can pick them up pretty much anywhere. And all you're going to do with this is you simply put the lemon on and you zest the zest. And all you're trying to do is get the yellow part off. So this is a good way to add flavor, and then you can use the juice for your lemon juice, right? Okay. So next thing we need is going to be garlic. So we've got a tablespoon of garlic here for you. All
right.
All right, and then we've got mustard. So we're going to need about a tablespoon of mustard. That's why I brought all these spoons for you.
Extra spoons, yeah.
So do you know what mustard is for in a recipe?
No, I do not.
For a salad dressing recipe, I should say. So what mustard does is it emulsifies, which is a big fancy term, which basically means bringing things together. So it combines the oils or the fats with the liquids, and it binds them together. Next thing we're going to need is our salt and our pepper. So we do use salt in a lot of recipes. It has a good flavor. It makes the food taste a little bit better, and it's a necessary nutrient. However, we're only using 1/4 teaspoon because people tend to overeat sodium, right?
Yes.
Most people do that, and so we try to cut down on it. If you are sodium restricted, you definitely can leave the salt out completely in any of these recipes, but we try to make them adaptable for everybody. So we've got all of our stuff in the container, right?
Okay.
Simply put the lid on.
Tightly.
Tightly, that is the key. You've got to put it on tightly.
All right, we are
All
sealed.
right, and give it a shake. Shake it like you mean it, right?
Angrily.
Angrily. All right, and let's take a peek. Does it look like it's all come together? Yep, magic, boom, dressing.
Look at that.
So the other thing I like about this method is when you're done, there's no cleanup. You just put the rest of the dressing in the refrigerator.
Okay.
It's already in its storage container. So that's our easy dressing. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do our salad. So we need about 4 cups of greens. So I'll go ahead and put this in there for you. Okay, and let's see, what do we need next? So we're gonna be using, we've got our apples pre-sliced, and you notice that they're not brown. We soaked them in lemon juice.
Nice.
Okay, so we've got our apples, and then we've got our grapes. So fruit is definitely a good addition for a salad. Celery.
My favorite.
Is your favorite. Some people don't like, and if you don't like an ingredient in a recipe, you can always leave it out, right? We've got some red onions sliced up really fine. We've got some fresh dill, so I'm a huge advocate for fresh herbs. I think they give you a lot of flavor, especially when you're cutting down the salt. Now this is canned salmon. You could use fresh salmon if you wanted. You could use tuna, if you could use chicken. If you don't like any of those options, you could use beans, or you could just leave it out completely. So make sure you drain it and make sure you get it packed in water.
Okay.
All right, so we've got our walnuts here. We're gonna go ahead and add those in. And then all we're gonna do is pour about half the dressing on the salad. Don't mess up, right?
Hey. Like I said, I watch cooking shows.
I know, you're good at this.
It was about half of it.
All right, and then all you're gonna do is take the tongs and you're just gonna mix it together. So we'll see how good you are at your salad making. And like I was saying, this is super easy. All you do is put the lid back on and stick it in your refrigerator for the next salad, and it'll last a couple days in there. Now, if you were making this salad to take to work or something like that, you wouldn't put the dressing on until you're gonna eat it, because it'll start to wilt.
All right.
All right, so that's it, and then we would just portion some out on the plate, which we can do in just a second here.
Okay.
And then what we would do next is we're gonna make the minestrone soup.
Okay.
So, and this recipe is for 2 people. Let's see how pretty we can make it.
It's all about presentation.
It is. People do eat with their eyes, so if it doesn't look good, people are not going to be as likely to eat it. Get some of the salmon. There we go. So that's as easy it is. Pretty quick to make a salad, pretty easy to make the dressing at home, right?
Right.
So by making the dressing at home, you're cutting down on what? Do you know?
No.
Sodium,
Okay.
sugar. A lot of salad dressings, especially low-fat ones, have a lot of added sugar, and you're also cutting down on the fat. So definitely a good way to make salad dressings at home. Plus, you can have a lot of variety.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna bounce over and make our 10-minute
trade you
minestrone.
places.
All right, swapping sides. So this is a really quick, easy soup. Most people really like minestrone soup. I always hear about people when they go out to restaurants, they say they order it all the time. So this is a super easy, quick recipe. All you're gonna do is start adding things in, and then you bring it up to a boil for 10 minutes. That's what cooks the pasta. And then you can eat it and save the rest for later. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna switch this over there.
All right.
So what you do is first you're gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. It doesn't have to be olive oil. It's just kind of the go-to. I use it for most of my cooking, but you can use, canola or safflower or whatever you prefer.
Okay.
So this would be on a heater, and you would bring this up to temperature, and then the next thing you would be adding is a mirepoix, which is onions, celery, and carrots. So these ones I chopped up from fresh, but you could easily use a frozen mixture of this.
All right.
So mirepoix is 50% onions, 25% carrot, and 25% celery. All right, so we would get that cooking up. We'd let it go for a couple minutes.
You kind of cook that down, right?
Yep, you bring it until the onions are translucent or kind of clear, okay? So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our no sodium chicken stock. You could use vegetable or beef stock, whatever you prefer. The key is though, is that it's low sodium or no sodium, which is what this is. So we got 6 cups of stock. And then we're gonna add our tomatoes. Now this is a large can. I would say you can definitely use a 16-ounce can. This is just gonna make it a little bit more tomatoey. And then we've got our cannellini beans. You could use kidney beans or different kinds, but I want to point out that these are reduced sodium or no salt added beans, and then we drain and rinse them to pull off even more of the salt. We've got our whole grain pasta. So this is a little bit big. The pasta noodles are bow ties. It's a little bit big for a minestrone soup. Usually they're very small, but this works just as well too. All right. And our green beans. This is like the dump and go soup, right?
Exactly.
Super quick and easy. We've got garlic. So we've got 3 tablespoons of garlic. You can increase or decrease that depending on your preference. Some people love garlic and some people don't, right? I tend to be the one person who loves garlic. We've got some salt, just a half a teaspoon, and this is for 8 people to eat a cup and a half. So this is a big pot of soup. Our pepper, this is Italian herbs. Just make sure it's no salt added. All right, and then all we're gonna do is put the lid on, bring it up to a boil, and that's it. When you're done, we top it with parsley.
That seems easy enough.
Yeah, easy peasy. And then this is the finished product here, this lovely little bowl of soup. So once it's done, everything's cooked and nice and tender, it's good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've accomplished the job of sous chef.
You are officially a sous chef. You can have a chef's hat now.
Oh, that's good. Well, Hillary, I want to thank you very much for coming on the show today and sharing the information with us and of course the examples too. Very cool.
All right, well, thank you.
For more information on March being National Nutrition Month, you can call the Lakeland CBOC at 863-701-2470, extension 4120, or the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital at 813-972-2000, extension 8050, or you can check them out on the web at www.tampa.va.gov. That's going to do it for this edition of Today's Veteran. I want to thank our guests, Chelsey Armendinger, Monique Lisowski, and Hillary Markey. But most of all, I want to thank you for joining us. Remember, for help and information regarding claims, benefits, services, and anything else available to veterans and their families, call the Polk County Veterans Service Office at 863-534-5220 or log on to the Polk County website at polk-county.net. I'm your host, Brian Lacey, and we'll see you next time.